Millions of people have lost weight with personalized plans from Noom. Like Evan, who can't stand salads and still lost 50 pounds.
Salads generally for most people are the easy button, right? For me, that wasn't an option. I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. But Noom worked for me.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom user compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
We all belong outside. We're drawn to nature, whether it's the recorded sounds of the ocean we doze off to, or the succulents that adorn our homes. Nature makes all of our lives, well, better. Despite all this, we often go about our busy lives removed from it. But the outdoors is closer than we realize. With AllTrails, you can discover trails nearby and explore confidently. With offline maps and on-trail navigation, download the free app today and make the most of your summer with AllTrails.
Hello, I'm Josh Hartnett. Welcome back to another Just Films and That New Release review. I hope you're well. Thank you very much, as ever, for tuning in. Whilst I've got your attention, if you could head on over to whatever app or website or whatever you're listening to this on, and if you can, give us a 5-star rating or review if you've got the time. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. But anyway, this time around, I'm going to be taking a look at M. Night Shyamalan's latest effort, Trap, starring Josh Hartnett. It's good to have you back, Josh, from... another Josh. Anyway, I'll try and keep this as spoiler-free as possible. Might touch on things featured in promotional material, like trailers and stuff like that. So if you don't want to know anything at all, give this a listen after you've seen it. In terms of the plot, it is quite hard to avoid spoilers. It's an M. Night Shyamalan film, so you know what that comes with. I'll go with what's in the trailer, though. So we find Josh Hartnett's Cooper. He's taking his daughter Riley to a pop concert. During the concert, he noticed that the arena appears to be subject to a massive police operation, and it transpires that the police are actually there to catch a serial killer who they know is going to be at the concert. It then transpires that, guess what? The killer in question is, in fact, Cooper, and the film follows him as he tries to escape from the police. So let's get stuck in. Overall, I thought it was okay, if a bit messy. It's nowhere near M. Night Shyamalan's best, but it does largely give you everything I think you'll probably expect from his work. It's high concept, simple story with a strong lead performance, and it sort of fizzles out towards the third act with some pretty weak elements in script around dialogue and characterization for me. As ever, I'm all about balance. So whilst I wasn't blown away, I did find some things I enjoyed. So first of all, let's get stuck into Josh Hartnett's performance, because not only is it good to see him back, but he's excellent in this, and he uses the bags of charm, the bags of charisma he's been blessed with to fantastic effect. There's this theme throughout with his character of duality, and this idea he's living two lives, and he's keeping those two lives separate. And some of the writing of that's a bit schlocky, but his performance really elevates that through the lead character. So what you have is he's playing Cooper. He's playing the Cooper he wants the world to see. He's playing the Cooper that he obviously is, the sort of sadistic, serial killer. And that's obviously something that's very much been noted in instances of real life serial killers and stuff like that. But what Josh Hartnett does in this is essentially he makes you like him. So then you find yourself partially rooting for him, and then you realize he's an absolute monster, and you think, why am I rooting for this guy? So, that was my thought anyway. So I enjoyed that emotional complexity of that as an audience member, as well as the fact that he's just having bags and bags of fun with it. So then what you have is, because of this layered performance, you have these really darkly comic moments when you realize that you're laughing at him because he's sort of being this dweeby dad trying to make his daughter happy and make his daughter laugh and stuff, whilst on the other hand he's also committing unspeakable evil, and he's got a bloke chained up in his basement and stuff like that. So while I do think some elements of the script are weak, which I'll come on to, I did enjoy that, and I think it does, for a large part, I will say this, it has its tongue firmly in its cheek for a lot of the film, which means it does kind of get away with a bit more because it's not as severe, not as sincere as other films of this kind. Some good use of tension building in there too, which is aided by a really good score and use of sound editing and stuff like that. And we're following Cooper, trying to find his way at this concert and using all these different ways he can to avoid capture. But as he does, he sort of starts to have fun with it to some extent, that he's clearly reveling and outsmarting the police and outsmarting other people, and that brings that dark comedy I mentioned earlier. So I suppose what you sort of have is it's a cat and mouse type scenario where the mouse is having fun with it because the mouse has killed loads of people and is highly sadistic and highly intelligent. So it's Tom and Jerry Or I guess more appropriately, Itchy and Scratchy if the mouse was played by a really, really informed Josh Hartnett. And that's pretty much it for likes, because it does become a bit of a mess in the final third. So once we leave the arena and enter the sort of inevitable when's the Shyamalan twist coming section of the film, it does devolve into, to be honest, a bit of a daft mess. So I don't mind that. I don't mind a daft mess. And like I say, some of it is tongue-in-cheek, but I think that's mainly in the first half or first two-thirds, which I think is a shame, because I think they've built up a really strong premise supported by an excellent performance by Josh Hartnett. And the final third just goes a bit silly to the point where Cooper, Josh Hartnett's character, becomes this kind of overpowered supervillain type character where beforehand what had actually been interesting about him was his appearance and his normality and his charm juxtaposed against the horrible things he's doing. So I quite enjoyed that reality, and I thought it was a bit of a disappointment that it fizzles out, and it does kind of fizzle out. It's got some real issues in the final third of the script, and it's almost like they put other M. Night Shyamalan films into AI, and so went, I don't know, give me something a bit like that. So some of the dialogue and characterization, it isn't great. So we've covered Cooper, Josh Hartnett's character, the serial killer. He's engaging, he's charming, he's interesting until he's not, until he becomes this, he becomes this sort of overpowered supervillain. And then we've got Cooper's daughter, and her dialogue is a bit repetitive. It's, her only real characterization is that she's his daughter, she's a teenager with teenage problems, and she's at a concert. Now, I'm not saying I could particularly write a better fictional teenage girl, but I don't have tens of millions of dollars and loads of crew who could perhaps gently suggest and guide me in the direction of having another go at the dialogue, or maybe having someone have another go at the dialogue and stuff like that. Another example would be, so M. Night Shyamalan's daughter plays Lady Raven, who's the sort of Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande type mega pop star. There's absolutely nothing wrong with her performance. I think she's fairly, she's great in it. She did the music as well, which does feel really contemporary, feels really appropriate. You feel like you're at a real pop concert with real music, and that's great. But her character is just a bit too much of a Mary Sue, which, if you don't know, she's perfect. She has no flaws. So she just seems to be this sort of righteous and good character with no real depth to her. And I'll be honest, that the cynical part of me would suggest that that's because the part was written for her by her dad. But perhaps it could just be an issue with him writing young female characters. I don't know. But I found it a bit jarring at the time in the film that I'd already found jarring in that final third, and it just sort of fizzled out into an overly far-fetched sort of debacle sort of thing. And when you start to feel that that's the way it's going, I guess you start to look for other problems. So I don't particularly mind far-fetched, and I don't particularly mind daft or stupid or anything like that. But I think for me, what this was is a bit of a missed opportunity, because I think the first half, perhaps the first two-thirds, is really strong, supported by an excellent performance from Josh Hartnett. And if anything, it is just good to sort of see him back on our screens again. But just to stress, he is brilliant in this. So go and see it just for him, if anything. But, overall, it's fairly harmless, switch your brain off stuff. And I think it'll probably find an audience in terms of fans of his other films. It's not The Sixth Sense or Unbreakable, but then, it's not After Earth either. So make of that what we will. And as ever, as I always say, this is my opinion, this is my review. So get out there, give it a watch, and make up your own mind. Thank you very much for listening. I'll see you next time. Cheerio.
The new Boost Mobile network is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for life.
That sounds like a threat.
Then how do you think we should say it?
Unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for the rest of your life?
I don't know.
Until your ultimate demise.
What if we just say forever?
Okay.
$25 a month, forever.
Get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile forever.
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Make this new school year an opportunity for your kids to learn important life skills with Greenlight. Greenlight is a debit card and money app for families where kids learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely, while parents keep an eye on kids' money habits. Greenlight also helps families get into their fall routine with a chores feature that lets parents assign chores and pay kids allowance when they check them off. Get your first month free at greenlight.com/listen. Greenlight.com/listen.
Need new glasses or want a fresh new style? Warby Parker has you covered. Glasses start at just $95, including anti-reflective, scratch-resistant prescription lenses that block 100% of UV rays. Every frame's designed in-house with a huge selection of styles for every face shape. And with Warby Parker's free home try-on program, you can order 5 pairs to try at home for free. Shipping is free both ways, too. Go to warbyparker.com/covered to try 5 pairs of frames at home for free. warbyparker.com/covered.